Almost 2 years ago, DJI released their Mini 3 Pro. It was the first policy-friendly drone that came with professional-grade features, and it even gave some of its bigger brothers a run for their money. But should you still consider buying this drone right now? Is it still as revolutionary as it was in 2022? And if you're buying your first ever drone, should you get this one, or should you spend the extra money on the Mini 4 Pro? Let's find out. I've been using my Mini 3 Pro for the past year or so now, and I actually sold my Mavic 2 Pro and got the Mini 3 Pro instead. The main reason for that is that it's a lot smaller and lighter, so it would be a lot easier to take it with me whenever I'm carrying my gear in a backpack. It also has longer flight time than the Mavic 2 Pro, and there are a few other features that we'll talk about in this video which really convinced me on the Mini 3 Pro. One of the things that really made the Mini 3 Pro stand out when it was first released was its impressive video specs, and they still are fantastic today. The Mini 3 Pro has a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor, and that is nearly a 1 inch sensor like you would see on the Mavic 2 Pro or the Air 2S. And almost double the size of the Mini 2 sensor. And a big sensor like this in a drone so small is really quite impressive. A larger sensor basically means better low light conditions, a greater dynamic range, and overall better image quality. And this is actually the exact same camera that's in the Mini 4 Pro, and it's also the same sensor that they use in the newest Air 3. So 2 years later, DJI still uses the same camera and sensor. I guess it's safe to say that the camera is that good that they didn't feel the need to change it. The camera has an f1.7 aperture, which lets a lot of light reach the sensor, and this is another feature which makes the Mini 3 Pro perform well in low light conditions. The Mini 3 Pro can record up to 4K at 60 frames per second, so you're able to slow down your footage to about 50% and get nice looking slow motion shots. It can do this recording at 150 megabits per second, and this higher bitrate basically means smoother playback and ultimately better looking footage. You can record videos in either normal color profile, which already looks really good straight out of camera and technically doesn't require any color grading anymore. However, you can still grade this footage quite well and achieve something like this. And I think this is really impressive quality coming from such a tiny drone. If you do want a flatter color profile to have more creative control when color grading, you can shoot in D-Cine-like. This footage does require color grading, and it looks absolutely fantastic when graded. Here's a quick comparison of the same footage with normal color profile and D-Cine-like with a basic color grade. And then both of these with a more stylized look applied to them. Another great feature for some users is the fact that the Mini 3 Pro has the ability to rotate the camera and shoot vertically. This is of course very interesting for creators who are focusing on vertical content for TikTok, Reels, or YouTube Shorts, but also for aerial photographers to give them the flexibility between shooting landscape or portrait. The DJI Mini 3 Pro has 3-directional obstacle avoidance. Forwards, backwards, and downwards. And this is really great for having that extra security when flying, especially if you are new to drone flying. Yes, the Mini 4 Pro does also have lateral obstacle avoidance, which will give you even more security when flying. But I would say that in most flying scenarios, the 3 directions of obstacle avoidance will be more than enough. Now we'll talk more about the differences between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro in a second, but first let's talk about a feature that works really well on the Mini 3 Pro, and that is Active Track. Focus tracking on a drone is, I think, one of the coolest features, especially if you're a solo creator having to film yourself. And the focus tracking on the Mini 3 Pro is really good. It stays locked onto the subject even at higher speeds. It also does a very good job at finding the subject after it loses it. For example, if you're walking behind some trees or any other obstacles that temporarily block the visuals, it will just find you again and continue tracking. Also, anyone looking for a drone for aerial photography will be more than happy with the photo specs of the Mini 3 Pro. It can shoot 48 megapixel photos, which is again really impressive for such a tiny drone. What that means is, for example, you have a lot of room to crop into your images if you need to. Or if you ever want to make any large print from one of your favorite drone photos and hang them on your wall, you can count on it that they're going to look great with the Mini 3 Pro. Now, we already talked about the quality of the camera and the sensor of the Mini 3 Pro, and this is also visible in the photos. The high dynamic range and improved low light performance allows for some beautiful looking high quality images. Now let's talk about the price of the Mini 3 Pro, because this might be the biggest reason why you would want to look at this drone. If you're looking for a sub 250 gram drone and you don't want to break the bank, but you still want to get professional looking videos and photos, the Mini 3 Pro might be the one for you. You can find the Mini 3 Pro with the standard RCN1 remote for as little as $599. Or the version with the DJI RC remote, so the one with the built-in screen, for $729. So for under $600, you can buy what is, in my opinion, one of the best drones DJI has ever released. I do just want to say that I personally think that the built-in screen remote is a total game changer, and I cannot recommend it enough. I used my phone as a screen for years when shooting on my Mavic 1 Pro and my Mavic 2 Pro, and I can honestly say that it is such a pain. So if you can afford it, just get the built-in screen remote. But before you go and buy that Mini 3 Pro, let's just quickly talk about the Mini 4 Pro, because maybe if you have the budget, you might want to spend a little bit more and get the Mini 4 Pro. I already mentioned that the Mini 4 Pro also has lateral obstacle avoidance on top of the 3-directional obstacle avoidance. It also features 360-degree active track, which is a very cool feature that allows you to have the drone track from anywhere on the 360-degree clock face. And I think these are the two main reasons why you would consider the Mini 4 Pro over the Mini 3 Pro. If you're doing a lot of active tracking in challenging environments, so with a lot of obstacles, and if you just want to have more tracking options, this is really where the Mini 4 Pro stands out. Also, the Mini 4 Pro features 0.4 transmission, and as I mentioned, the Mini 3 Pro can shoot slow motion at 4K 60 frames per second, while the Mini 4 Pro is capable of shooting slow motion in 4K 100 frames per second, so you can get even slower slow motion. And the last thing I want to mention that supposedly sets apart the Mini 4 Pro from the Mini 3 Pro is the fact that it records in D-Log-M, and this D-Log-M profile is meant to be even better for color grading than the D-Cine-like that you'll find on the Mini 3 Pro. However, I've seen people compare the two and they actually are pretty much identical, so I wouldn't really worry about this one too much. Now, there's always something about getting the latest and greatest version on the market, and I totally get that if you're buying a new drone that you might want to spend that extra money to get the Mini 4 Pro. And there are definitely good reasons for getting that Mini 4 Pro, but for me personally, I can't see myself upgrading my Mini 3 Pro anytime soon. This fantastic little mini drone is jam-packed full of amazing features and delivers fantastic quality images, whether it be video or photo. Whichever one you do end up choosing, you won't be disappointed, because both of these little drones are a lot of fun and they both produce stunning footage. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to anyone interested in buying the Mini 3 Pro in 2024. I will leave some purchasing links down in the description, and they won't cost you a dime more, but they will support the channel. And if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!